From neighbors following a wild house party in Weddington, police say a landscaper invited hundreds of people to a multi-million-dollar home that wasn't his.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I do TikTok on the video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So today we will be talking about the land. It's another actually North Carolina story. This happened in Weddington, which is in the Charlotte. Well, I wouldn't call it the Charlotte metro area because if you're from North Carolina, you know everything around Charlotte is pretty much the sticks. But it's a city that is around Charlotte, and Michael Brown, who we now know is a landscaper. He actually threw a party at a house he was doing work on. Like, not to be fun. Well, shit. This ain't nothing too serious, so we can be funny on this one. But I'm gonna be honest. If they did not, if we just seen the headline, we didn't get a mug shot or any interview from him, I would have knew he was black, bro. Like, don't that just sound like some nigga shit. Like, that just sound like some nigga shit. So, what ends up happening? Obviously, like I said, Michael Brown is a landscaper. He's 37 years old, and while he was the people were away and he was doing work on their home, he decides to throw a party. So while he actually charges for this party and pocketed the money. So that's funny as hell. And it's said to be a pretty big crowd. So I wonder how much he probably was probably like $5 a head. I wonder how much money he made for the shit. He probably made a couple hundred. If it's did what they talking about, because you only need 20 niggas to get 100, 40 to get 2, 60 to get 3. So he probably did make a couple hundred if it's did what they talking about. But while in the midst of the party, the police were called due to noise complaints, and they said traffic hazards. So basically, people parking all over the place, people parking in front of people's houses that they like, where the hell are these damn cars coming from and things of that sort. So police got called for that thing. And while they, are investigating, if y'all ever been to a house at a party, they got shut down police, they usually like to talk to who they think threw the party and things of that sort. So everybody pointed in Mr. Brown's direction. And Mr. Brown, at first he said he was the owner of the home. They don't know. They haven't said what else in his story told on him, but they said during this, during that, they kind of figured out his story wasn't adding up. So after he said he was the owner of the home, he then was like, nah, this is my grandparents' home. And then they figured out it still was that story didn't add up. And then he finally admitted that he was just the grass guy, I think he called himself, but the landscape good dude. So nut ass nigga. So obviously for things of this sort, you do actually I get usually a lot of parties like this, they usually don't get in trouble like that unless the police is a dickhead. But he actually, got charged. So what he has been officially charged with was alleged breaking and entering, injury to real property, obtaining property under false pretense, second degree trespassing, and contributing to the delinquency of minor, because they were basically saying that he was serving alcohol, or it was under 20-year-olds drinking, and I guess even younger than that. He said a minor, but under 20-year-olds drinking and things of that sort. So that's why he got the delinquency of a minor charge. But other charges pretty much self-explanatory. It says alleged breaking and entering. They probably gave him that because, you're doing a landscape or you're on the outside of the home. So for him to get in the house, he probably either, I ain't gonna lie, rich people be living, because it seemed like it was a pretty big house. Rich people be living they shit on like, a nice area. So maybe he just walked in, but it says alleged breaking and entering. So maybe he, he could have did anything that. Injury to real property, obtaining property on a false pretense. That's and the second degree trespassing is pretty self-explanatory once you know the story. So yeah. So he was booked into the Union County Detention Center, and he has been released on his bond, because I think his bond was only like $1,000, I think, something like that. So yeah, bro, Michael Brown is a funny nigga, bro. His bond was 10,000. I mean, so he had to pay 10%, 1,000. So yeah. Yeah. He has disputed the charges and claimed that the party was a graduation celebration for his son and his son's friends. And he's confident that the owners will still request his work for their lawn care. As far as, it being a party for his son's friends, that's cute, I guess. You crazy as hell throwing it at somebody else's home when they not there. And the fact that he still think they gonna work, I cannot see, you know, them coming back or them, you know, being on the news and be like, hey, that's our landscape dude, and that look like I can't see them wanting to work with him again. That's crazy as hell. But yeah, that's pretty much was just a funny ass story. Nothing too much about it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. ID TikTok on the video, and we out.